So is it starting now?
I still say we just
sending feeds.
fire Aaron
Really? Why are you firing me?
because you're the one that's causing all these problems.
We're live right now. I got us going.
Good. You're fired.
I mean, probably. Twitch is giving us issues still. I'm not 100% worried about Twitch, but
Yeah.
So if y'all are here, welcome. I don't have anything pulled up yet, guys. We're just setting up everything still, making sure we don't have any glitches like we did last week. So bear with us a little while. No, don't fire me.
When you get a chance, click on that and pull that up.
Yeah.
So put it in there.
All right, hang on. Let me pull that up. I don't know if anyone's here. I don't think anyone's here yet. Oh, no, it shows there's a couple people.
Who are you?
Welcome if you are here.
We're about to start.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just bear with us.
Ooh.
No, that's not the one.
Oh.
That's the one. Right there.
Ooh. What is this? What?
We can't spoil it. We're live.
Really? Huh. Interesting. Well, you could walk over here. Hey, everybody, again, this is just the test. We're not testing it, but we're just making sure everything's running smoothly. So if you are here, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Did you change passwords on this?
We might have. Yeah, crud. Well, I have it up on mine.
All right, well, guess you're monitoring the chat.
Try. See if. Hang on. It's one of two things, probably. It's either this one, or actually, it could be three. Let me put all three of them up. See if one of them work for you.
You don't want to say it out loud?
No, let's not say these passwords out loud. So everyone knows our passwords to all of our stuff. If you are here listening to us, please let us know if you hear anything wrong with the audio. Last week we had some audio issues. This week we should be pretty much fine right now. We're just adjusting everything.
Not that one.
We're trying to remember passwords. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome. We're about to start live. We're just getting the little bugs kinked out, worked out. Last week we had some issues, so I'm making sure this week we're all set for all of y'all.
Oh, there it was. I think that's the one.
The second one?
Yep.
All right, cool. Now I know what it is myself. Okay, so remember, guys, if you are here, please like the page, share the feeds to everybody. Take a good one. Have a good one, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Our backup over here. He's working.
Frank's back to work.
So again,
Love
guys,
you,
please share the feed. Share this with your friends. Start a watch party if anything. Just let people know that we are here and we are live. We want to make sure that we can get the news out there.
Let's go.
And according to the co-host over here, Robert, we are ready and good to go.
I'm ready to go.
So, welcome everybody. It is Talkin Geek, the geekiest show in the verse. I'm Aaron. I'm your host with the professor over here still. As you can see him perfectly this time. No issues with cameras. No issues with audio. So we are good this week, guys. And I hope you enjoy Talkin Geek Season 2, Episode 6. And we got a lot to talk about. A lot actually happened, it feels like, this week. So
yeah, I mean, the Oscars obviously were big. Birds of Prey came out,
Birds
so
of
we're going
Prey.
to talk about that. There's been some Marvel news, some
Yes.
Sony news, Indiana Jones, so Lucasfilm news, and even maybe a surprise, that thing that I was showing Aaron just a minute ago that
I'm excited for it.
he just saw for the first time. So
I'm excited for that too, honestly.
I know.
So-
We're gonna talk about it.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, John. Thank you for joining us. John Guetta is here with us. Sean Hackney, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, man. Thank you both for joining us. And please, if you haven't heard, share it if you can with everybody and let us know, what people think. John said the video looks a little blurry. Let me just take a quick look. We do look fine from what I can tell. It may have just been because, we were adjusting the camera, so it may have blurred for a quick second. But it is on autofocus. So
Looks
it should be
good.
doing
Looks
this.
good on my end.
So, but thank you for letting us know, John. But please, John and Sean, share it. Everyone else here, share the video with all your friends and let them know about this show. And on that note, let's go straight into the news, guys. Again, this is Talkin Geek, and we talk about everything geek related. It's the geekiest show in the verse. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Birds of Prey. First of all, the name change too.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that real quick.
So box office was definitely disappointing.
Yeah, 33 million, I believe, right?
Yeah, well, it was projected to make about 50 million before its opening weekend, and it definitely came in under. 33 million, I believe. So definitely was a little bit disappointing. I think we can talk about why that might be. I think there's some reasons for that. But with that, they have now updated the listing, at least at all of the major theater chains, to I think Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Yes. So trying to get that IP name out there. Harley Quinn, that's the one that people know. That's
the main name everybody's gonna follow. Yeah, honestly.
Which I mean, I don't know if I think that contributed, but certainly I think we can talk a little bit about what may have led to the disappointing box office results. For me, one of the big things is the trailers. I thought did a really bad job of pitching this movie. I don't know.
They really did. I think that's true.
I think that we saw it.
Yeah.
And I think that the movie was fun. It had kind of a little bit of a Deadpool vibe to it.
Yes, I'll agree to that.
In terms of like the structure, even like how it had like flashbacks and like here's the main story and now we're gonna go back to this, which Deadpool did. It had some of that R-rated humor in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the marketing campaign for this, I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it because I thought the marketing really let it down, and I think it's certainly true that you can sell a franchise or a movie without having that name. So
exactly.
Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew what that was, but the trailers sold that movie, right?
Exactly.
It was like,
I agree.
This looks like a ton of fun. Whereas Birds of Prey, nobody knows that.
No.
But it didn't look like a ton of fun, at least in the trailers, at least in my opinion.
I agree with you.
Some people might have thought that, but so if you named it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey to begin with, would that have drawn in more people? Maybe. But I also don't know that Harley Quinn's that big of a star or a name, especially after Suicide Squad.
And that's where I agree. Like, I don't know if it is a big name, especially Suicide Squad was a bomb. It bombed in the box office. And let's face it, Batman v Superman bombed.
Well, actually, Suicide Squad did pretty good in the box office because those trailers sold a movie that we did not get. Let's be honest.
Is true.
Like,
that is true.
Those trailers of Suicide Squad actually looked like a lot of fun, and then that movie was not.
No, the movie was not fun at all. I didn't enjoy it. But you had so many movies that they just didn't do well. See, I mean, I'm still going to throw Suicide Squad in there because I hated the story. But you got Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. You have Justice League, which both of those bombed. They didn't do well. I mean, they did
bombed
enough.
Is the wrong word.
Okay, they didn't do well.
They were certainly not massive hits.
No, not what they wanted.
They made the studio money, but not the type of money that they were expecting from a movie called Batman v Superman or Justice League. You expect those to be $1 billion movies.
Exactly. They did not hit it out of the park on
Shazam
that one.
was very successful, though.
Shazam did really well.
So I mean, it's been a mixed bag for DC. I don't really think it came down to DC or Marvel. I think that, most fans, most movie-going people actually, like, they may know the difference now because Marvel has had this narrative going on for, 10 years.
10 years.
But I don't know that a casual fan, if they're going to see comic book movies, they're probably going to see them because they like that type of movie.
Exactly.
So I think you can, if you sell the movie on being fun, you can get it out there. Now, I think there were a couple other things that I think contributed to the disappointing box office.
Okay.
Number one, the weekend it came out, Oscars weekend has historically been a low movie-going weekend.
That is true.
Because, Sunday is the Oscars, and a lot of movie fans will watch the Oscars instead of a new movie.
And that's true. And that is very true.
So, maybe Friday and Saturday it was still, like a normal weekend. But Oscars weekend, I think, contributed. But the big thing that, for me, brought it down was the R rating.
That cuts off a lot of your fan
watching
base.
The movie, I don't think it needed it. Like,
no,
there are no moments that I remember from the movie where I go, man, that was an R-rated moment and it had to be in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, there were R-rated moments. It earned its R rating, but there was nothing like in Deadpool. I felt like there was comedy and there were action beats that it was like that was necessary to this plot. It was necessary to the story it was telling. It had to be rated R. This movie,
agree.
I did not feel that.
I agree. There was, I'm trying to think in my mind because we just saw it. What was it? Friday,
Saturday night. Yeah.
And I agree. I don't think there was any necessary violence or cursing or anything that you could have just omitted and said, okay, can we sell this as a PG-13 or PG movie?
And there really wasn't even that much gratuitous violence. Like, there was certainly some good action scenes, and I want to talk about the action
Oh
scenes in
yeah.
this movie because they were cool. But like there wasn't like a bunch of like bloody moments or things like that where you're like, man, this is rated R, and it had to be. It was just kind of like I think it was mostly rated R for the language, I think, and I feel
I
like
want to say I agree with that.
and I
Yeah.
feel like that's not necessary. People may act like Harley Quinn is an R-rated character. Oh, she debuted on a kids cartoon.
Yeah,
like
back in the 90s.
You're not.
It's like,
she's
no.
not an R-rated character. They've kind of made her into one.
Yeah.
But I think you could definitely tell a Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey movie without it being R-rated. And
Yeah.
I wish they had.
I mean, I agree with you 110% with that because you're right. There's a lot of things that when we first met Harley back in 95, I want to say 96,
like that. In mid-90s.
It was a fun, lovable character. And the problem I think with some people with Harley has this weird reputation to me because some people want that romantic relationship when she has really Stockholm syndrome, but whatever, we'll go with that's a whole nother topic. But I don't know. I love the character, but the only thing the movie did right, and not spoiling a whole lot from this, by saying this comment, I think, is I think sometimes people forget how intelligent she really is, and they played that well in this movie.
I agree.
I was happy with that.
I think
the Suicide Squad didn't show that at all.
Right. I think there's that character. There's a balance there between like she's super intelligent and also completely unhinged.
Exactly.
So it's like you never know what she's going to do, but what she's going to do is going to be intelligent.
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean she doesn't have moments of stupidity or moments where she does something that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But she is intelligent in her thought process. She's intelligent in how she goes about things. I liked that. I definitely liked there were a couple moments where she was having interactions with different characters, and you could see the former psychiatrist come out as she was like analyzing people. And
oh my gosh, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought I liked all of the characters that were in the Birds of Prey. You had Huntress, you had Renee Montoya, you had Black Canary. I thought they all did a good job.
You know what I forgot though? That I think it's Huntress was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yes, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, she's in this movie.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see her.
And with a really interesting take on that character too, like very socially awkward and like
Huntress.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I mean,
I loved it.
The movie I don't think was great, and I think we can maybe transition into the review.
Yeah, I figured we go there.
I don't think it was great, but it was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
it. Really was.
I thought the storyline was pretty standard. It wasn't anything like they weren't breaking any new ground.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good movie. I thought the characters were well fleshed out. You understood motivations from everybody.
Yeah.
There were definitely a few shortcuts here and there.
There was.
But I thought Ewan McGregor as Black Mask did a good job.
Oh, I love Zaz too.
And Zaz was great too. I don't know that actor.
No, I don't know.
I don't know his name.
I'm gonna look real quick.
But yeah, I thought I think Ewan McGregor was a good mix of like campy and also sinister. Like you got that he was. Oh, there he is, right in the middle. What's his name?
That's good.
Yeah.
Chris Messina.
Yep, that's him.
I recognize the face.
Yeah, so
no idea.
I liked Ewan McGregor. I thought he did a good job as Black Mask. I was definitely disappointed in how little Black Mask we got.
I agree with you on that.
He really only put it on, I think, just the one time.
At the very end. And you never got a prelude to it. Like, you never saw the mask in the background. I don't remember seeing that.
No, I mean, I think that there was a shot early in the movie where it either came up in conversation or they did like sort of a flashback or something where he was wearing it.
Was he? I missed that.
I don't remember. But then, really the only substantial scene that he wears it in is the end. And even that, it's really actually by the time he and Harley kind of have their standoff at the end, he's not wearing it anymore.
No, yeah, which I didn't get. I'm like, when did he take that?
Yeah. So I was definitely disappointed in how little Black Mask we got.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
But I thought, his villainous character, I thought did a good job.
I think he did a good job for what they were going with for that film.
Yeah.
Do I believe he was a Black Mask? Maybe not so much, but for the film and the way the film presented itself, yes, he was a good Black Mask for that film.
I wonder if Suicide Squad had been a better movie, if the Joker had been better received, that version of the Joker, if the villain of this movie would have been the Joker.
That makes sense.
Because part of the plot of this movie, and we're going to get into slight spoilers, is that, Harley's moving on from the Joker. They've split up and she's moving on, and which means she's no longer under his protection. So
Right.
basically, everybody in Gotham that hates the Joker and also hates Harley Quinn, now they're like, well, we can take out Harley Quinn because she's not connected to the Joker anymore. And so Black Mask is one of those characters that I want Harley dead, and that's kind of the the kicking off point.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that Jared Leto version of the Joker had been better received if this movie just had Joker wanting to kill Harley after they break up, rather than the villains of Gotham wanting to kill Harley.
Yeah, and that could have been it. That would have been
And
interesting.
because it feels like the Black Mask character has a couple of Jokerish tendencies.
He really did.
In how kind of unhinged he is.
He really did, because like I said, if you read the comics and you love Black Mask, you're not going to get the same Black Mask in this movie.
He's much more of a mobster in
he's
that.
A crazy mobster.
Well, and I didn't even know that he's not really that crazy. I mean, he's crazy in the sense that he's a supervillain.
I mean, he's a sociopath, for sure.
But when you compare him to like the other villains of Gotham, like Riddler or Joker or Two-Face, or
he's not up there. You're
Zaz.
Right.
Like he's not as unhinged as they are. He's much more calculating. He's more of kind of a B villain than those A villains, and Zaz isn't an A villain.
No, but I love Zaz though.
But he was. I thought that the portrayal of Zaz was really cool.
I really thought so too. I'm glad they did what they did. And again, it's an overall really good movie. And they changed the name thinking that it would help. So now it's Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, right? I believe now.
I think it's just, it's showing up as Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, or Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey in the theaters. Like, they didn't change anything in the actual movie.
No, nothing changed in that.
But just in how they're marketing it.
I wonder if they sent like a new title over, like a sequence, like the opening part?
No.
Nope, that's still...
Yeah, it's still all the same.
That's interesting.
But I want to continue talking a little bit more about the movie, because I want to talk about the different characters that we got. Black Canary, I think, was my favorite character of the whole movie.
I liked her a lot.
I think that she was just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way they kind of explained where she came from, and the way they kind of hinted at what she could do, and then we finally got it. I thought that was all really cool, and really, I think my favorite scene of the whole movie is the police break-in scene where Harley, just kind of takes out a bunch of cops and everything, and then eventually has her one-on-one fight with Renee Montoya, but she's just, like fighting in the evidence room with the bat and everything. I thought that was really cool. That was probably my favorite scene.
I think not having a beard is a good thing now. After that scene.
Yeah, she sets a guy's beard on fire.
I was like, that's a good way to take somebody out. Set him on fire. And I think I like this one more because I know in Suicide Squad, it was supposed to be more like lethal and killing like the villains. But the whole scene when Harley comes in there into the police station, into GCPD, and she's using like more like beanbag, it's more like joking, which is to me what Harley would have been. Like no matter what, it's like it shouldn't be bullets, it should be like sandbags, little confettis. That whole scene to me was such a like Joker should have been right there with her. And I think it would have been cool to see that. Or the fact that just Harley is just amazing too, because that to me is a throw to what you're used to with Harley Quinn. The whole, I'm beating these guys up, but it's cute, it's cuddly, look all these pretty colors. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
And I love that part. I love that it was all of that. I thought at the beginning too, I think it's the first color you see is green, I think, at one point. And I want to say I was hoping that was going to be the gas, the Joker gas. And we were going to see the people laughing and just collapse on the floor. I want to see that in a movie, but I don't think we're ever going to get that because that's too...
Yeah, and it feels like for sure they were intentionally, trying to portray her moving on from the Joker.
Exactly.
So that wouldn't have made sense for her to use Joker gas.
Yeah.
She wants to separate herself. She doesn't want to be connected to the Joker anymore.
I could wish, though.
But yeah, the action scenes were all really cool, and definitely I really liked, kind of the balance that they gave the Birds of Prey team, and they let them all have their own moments, and I thought in general it was really solid. It was not my favorite DC movie, and especially if you look at the extended universe, which starts usually like with Man of Steel, everything we've got since then. I think Wonder Woman, Shazam, and this are definitely my three favorites, but this is probably number 3. Like Wonder Woman and Shazam are 1, 2 for me. I like Man of Steel as well. Justice League is meh, and then Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad are both bad. Aquaman was okay.
It's just nice to look at, to me,
Yeah.
because I like the lights and anyway, that's the whole thing. I
So-
mean, I agree with you. I like the fact that every character in Birds of Prey is a unique character. It's
Yeah.
not like these two are kind of similar. You don't see any similar. It's like you said, Huntress is the awkward, socially awkward. Montoya is like an '80s beat cop, and they even kind of make fun of that.
The dialogue
So-
that they gave her and then they called it out
Yes.
was really fun. I like that.
You have Black Canary, who is kind of that leave me alone, loner kind of attitude.
Sure.
Then you have Harley, who is Harley Quinn. I'm just gonna be loud and hey guys, everybody hates me, but I'm still gonna be Harley Quinn. And I love that every character had their own little niche. Even Cassandra Cain, as a pickpocket thief, kind of smart aleck little girl, which I thought was an interesting take on Cassandra Cain. I don't know if I liked it
And
yet. Still,
she's a Batgirl.
she ends up becoming a Batwoman, I
a
think.
Batwoman. Okay,
Yeah.
in the comics. So yeah, that was definitely, and I think one of the things that she's kind of known for in the comics is she doesn't talk much.
Not really.
So that was kind of interesting to see that too.
And I did like that. I'm glad you comment on that, because in the comics, she's also one of the few bats that doesn't mind killing. So the fact that there is a scene where she pulls a gun out and she's like, okay, everyone shut the hell up. I am gonna murk somebody right here. And it's like, okay, everyone's like, oh, you got a gun.
Right.
And I kind of like that. That kind of shows where she might, if this movie would have a second or third film when she's older, that we're leading into that more violent, I don't mind killing attitude, which is why Huntress is never truly a bat as well, because she doesn't mind killing.
Right.
Bruce's big thing is, I will never kill.
Yeah, I wish that this movie had been more successful, and
I do too.
Because I would like to get a Birds of Prey spinoff. I would like to get maybe a Huntress prequel.
That would be cool to see.
Or at least a solo movie with flashbacks to her origin story. Something like that. But I definitely this is a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
And the Birds of Prey come in at the end. I will say that the one thing that stood out in a really negative way was actually how the movie ended, with the new costumes that they put them in. I thought were really bad.
Feel that was last second, because if you look at the one on Huntress, it looks so baggy on her, and I was like, something's not right.
It's bad.
Yeah, I think it was just the last, we're gonna try to throw this in to wrap it all together. This is Birds of Prey, and it didn't do well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. And real quick from the chat, Sean did comment on this. He wants to know the rumor of the Masters of the Universe movie that Sony was going to make may go to Netflix. That was last year. I think we even talked about that last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's always something about Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
It's ever definitive.
No.
So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about it because we don't know anything. Once they announce it, I'm on board to talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we just never know what's coming.
I want to say I talked about this either last year or even year before. So yeah, it keeps coming up. And
there's always news about it. It's kind of like the Crow reboot. It's sort of like we're gonna.
He just wanted me to cry.
I saw it. I watched the Crow.
I'm so happy you watched the Crow. Yeah. The only good one. There's only one Crow. There's no other Crow movies or a TV show. There's not even a TV show.
The Crow Returns. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Get out of here. This is how you get fired from your contract.
Actually, I don't even know if that's a movie.
I don't know either. It's City of Angels, Salvation, and I don't remember the fourth name because I don't want to remember them. And I have all of them, guys. And I'm a huge Crow fan. Because I'm stupid. I will say it.
All right,
but,
so give me your overall score before we transition off of this topic.
Okay.
Birds of Prey, or Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, or whatever it's called now.
You know what? I think your wife said this. Kristen said it best. DC set the bar kind of low already.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, overall, a solid 7. I liked it. It was some whimsical parts, some good one-liners. I'm always a fan of when you can do Harley, this idiot kind of klutz woman, but then turn around and be like the psychologist comes out and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, she's brilliant. She's supposed to be highly intelligent.
Right.
And I love that they did a good balance of that, because in some comic books and even other iterations of her, they tend to forget that. They keep making her that ditzy, like, oh, she doesn't know anything, but it's like, no, she's always 2 steps ahead and you just don't realize it.
Yeah, there's kind of that tendency to lean into like she's the attractive dumb blonde.
Exactly.
And she certainly has those blonde moments. That's part of her character.
Exactly.
But it's also part of her character that she's super intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And when that comes out, it's a lot of fun. And it definitely did in this movie. I think I'm about at the same board as you.
Ooh.
I would say, about a 7 out of 10 for me as well. This was a lot of fun. I
It
enjoyed
was.
my experience. I thought the action was really cool. The story wasn't anything special necessarily, but I thought all the characters were cool. I thought the villains were cool, and I thought that overall it was fun.
Yeah.
It was Deadpool light.
It was.
It wanted to be Deadpool, and it didn't quite get there, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I would put this actually, for me, on about the same level as like a Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
which I didn't think was quite as good as the first one.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of like it's still got some of those Deadpool-y moments. This had, Harley Quinn moments. And, I thought it was a lot of fun, and a lot of the action scenes were really cool. The way she used the bat, there was like one really cool moment where she like bounced it off the ground, and like I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but that was a cool action moment. So.
I was also happy, real quick, that they brought the mallet out. That they were able to fit that in here. So even though it's kind of like supposed to be funny and goofy, they actually fit this in perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, speaking of all of this, though,
go see Birds of Prey because we want it to make more money.
I do. I'd like to see a second one.
And maybe, coming off of Oscar week as it's going into theaters for its second weekend, really the major release coming out this weekend is Sonic. And I don't want to see that.
I mean, see it for the poor animators that got fired after they redid everything.
No. I don't want to see it. Sonic was never my guy anyways. Like playing the video games, I wasn't a Sonic guy. So maybe, it'll be, it's kind of in the same realm, but it's also that R-rated, so maybe
don't take your kids.
Maybe it'll make a little bit more money. See, this is the weird thing is that I'm not talking like young kids, but like 13, 14, 15,
I'm gonna take it.
You can absolutely go like this
I
movie
would.
does not have the same type of vulgar humor or gore that even a Deadpool does. So, again, you can
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Read the parental notes and then decide.
Right, yeah, I think I'd agree with that. So on that note, guys, speaking of like Oscar week and everything else, so Joaquin Phoenix, he got the Oscar.
Yeah, so Joker, which was nominated for like 11 Oscars, took home 2. Joaquin Phoenix for Best Actor, and then it also won Best Score. Hildur Guanadottir, I don't know that name. She's definitely, I don't know. She's foreign of some nature, some descent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Finnish or something like Icelandic.
Iceland.
I just looked it up.
Close though.
So
Finland. Not too far.
Hildur Guðnadóttir.
He pronounces all names, by the way, guys, from the show. I do not pronounce any names because I cannot pronounce.
I did all right.
Better than me.
Best original score, and the music of that movie was really good.
I will agree with you. But
I know
really
you
good.
want to talk about Joaquin Phoenix as your favorite.
No, because you started talking about too much. But you know what? I called it a long time ago. This movie was made just to get Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar.
And to make $1 billion.
It's maybe make $1 billion.
Sorry if I blew out any of your
speakers.
know.
I mean, he's coughed. Sorry, guys. He's coughed sometimes. Allergies and weather here in South Texas. It happens. Joaquin Phoenix though won the Oscar, which I mean everybody saw that coming. The performance. I'm not gonna say that his performance was bad. It was a good performance. It just wasn't the Joker I love. It wasn't who I wanted it to be.
It was a very different version of the Joker.
Yeah.
And the movie itself, even though it was called Joker, was very loosely based.
Exactly.
On anything that had to do with the Joker. So,
But congratulations to him.
His performance was really good.
It was.
I think that he certainly earned his Oscar. I didn't see all of the other nominated, actors in movies, so I can't really say. I can't compare. But his performance was on par with other types of performances that get Best Actors or Best Actresses. So I thought his performance was really good.
Does this mean Jack Nicholson is the only movie Joker that doesn't have
Jared Leto? Well, Jared Leto has one, but not for his portrayal of Joker.
He does, doesn't he? I didn't think about that.
So yeah, I think Jack Nicholson, he has Oscars.
Well, he has Oscars.
It just wasn't
for
for the
Joker
Joker
either. But 2 of our Jokers have gotten it now.
Yeah, and it makes it only the second character in history to have 2 different actors win an Oscar for playing the same character.
Really? I didn't know that.
The other one is Don Vito Corleone from the Godfather movies. Marlon Brando won it for the first movie, and then Robert De Niro won it for portraying a young version of the character in Godfather Part 2. So
something new, guys.
There you go.
For all your Godfather fans.
And really, they were playing the same character.
Yeah.
Like at different periods in life. This was two portrayals that were wildly different, and really the Heath Ledger Joker is not the Arthur Fleck Joker from this movie.
Oh, heck no.
Even though they both won the Oscar for playing Joker,
yeah,
it is not the same character in the same sense that character of the Godfather is.
Agree, 100% agree with that. But it's interesting how that happens in the little random facts of life.
And that now makes it superhero movies have won 2 acting Oscars in their history, and both of them have been the Joker.
And both of them DC Jokers. Wait a minute, hang on. But Marvel has the money. The Warner Brothers has the Oscars now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's...
And Warner Brothers made some money, too. I mean, those Chris Nolan Batman movies did not suffer.
They did not suffer at all. But no
Dark
awards.
Knight Rises made over $1 billion. So.
Did it really? Oh, that's right.
Well, and fun fact, The Dark Knight came out in 2008. So at the 2009 Oscars, when it was not nominated for Best Picture, that spurred the change of moving past just 5, limiting it to 5 nominations.
Really?
So that was kind of the spur in the movement, is that The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Picture, and everyone was like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, that was such a good picture too.
So yeah, that you can directly link back to The Dark Knight and thank it for Best Picture nominations for movies like Black Panther or The Joker, which those are the first 2 comic book movies that have ever been nominated for Best Picture.
That is true. So that'll be interesting though. Like, that's really interesting. So I mean,
Oscar
DC's done some stuff
today on.
You now know more. You learn stuff, guys. You learn things on this show. So moving from that though, because I can go off on Joaquin Phoenix and this whole thing I have with the Oscars
and the $1 billion that the movie made.
Doesn't matter. That's not why it was made.
That doesn't matter?
That's not why it was made.
They weren't trying to make money?
No.
That's not why they made
Because now they can say, hey, Marvel, we got 2 Oscars. What do you got? And they're like,
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they made the money. Made the movie to make money. That is, certainly they were hoping that it was a big critical success as well.
I mean, yes, but still.
Every movie in Hollywood gets made so that they make money.
That is true. That is true. So, but still, there's just a week win the Oscar.
Moving on to
Marvel. Doctor Strange 2, Sam Raimi is back in the Marvel universe, kind of.
Maybe.
Technically, maybe.
It is not officially confirmed yet, although the previous director, Scott Derrickson, who did remain on as a executive producer, tweeted out from his personal account, this is the quote, "I've worked with Sam Raimi, one of the nicest people I've known in the film business, and as a director, a true living legend. What a great choice to take over Doctor Strange."
So it's pretty much official.
If you have the former director who's still on board with the production of the movie tweeting that, it seems like it's pretty much a done deal. Marvel and Disney have not come out and officially said this, but it certainly seems that it is. Yeah,
and that's what I think. I think it's really going to be, it's going to be okay. I think I'm worried a little bit because I have issues with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. I've had a friend who argued about it, and if he comes on the show ever, if he ever mentions it, I'll talk to you about it. But I don't know. I'm wondering if he's going to be a little too campy for it, but I hope that he does go a different route now that he may have more creative say-so.
Well, I know. Let me ask you about Spider-Man 3. What was your least favorite part?
From second one to the very end.
No. I mean, literally, what was your least favorite part? Because there's stuff in that movie that's good. I will argue with you that there is stuff in that movie that's good.
Gwen Stacy did not need to be in that movie.
Correct.
Harry Osborn, I thought, was done terribly in that movie.
Agreed.
Sandman was potentially could have been good, but it was just cut one more little thing that would have pushed him over. So I thought he wasn't good.
Okay.
I have issues with Venom altogether.
And when you say I have issues with Venom, you mean
just
that's your biggest complaint, right?
That's probably my biggest thing.
Okay. So Venom was forced on Sam Raimi.
Right.
By
I know
studio,
he hated it.
Famously. He's certainly not young. Venom is a younger character. He's only been around since the 90s.
About 35 years or so. Because he came out either late 80s or early 90s. Because he came out during the Secret War.
So that was not a character that Sam Raimi grew up with. It was not a character he wanted.
Right.
That character was forced on him, which forced him to cut out a lot of the things that had to do with Sandman.
Right.
And also to truncate and change the storyline of New Goblin of Harry Osborn because he needed to balance it out at the end and have Peter Parker, Spider-Man have someone helping him.
Right. And I agree.
And so the studio definitely forced Venom on Sam Raimi. Now, does that mean? I mean, he still signed on to do the movie. He still made the
money.
movie.
Yeah.
So it's on his record.
Yeah.
He doesn't just get a pass and we
No.
go, oh, Sam Raimi. But he did make 2 pretty good Spider-Man movies.
I'll give him that. And one of them is also famously known for having over 200 editing issues, though, which is Spider-Man 1.
Famous for that.
It's oh my gosh, it was one of the, I guess because I'm more into like that side of it. It's one of the biggest ones. It's considered to have, I think, the most edits errors in it. Like you can watch that whole scene and you can always, like every other minute, you can figure out like, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And there's one that's the bedroom scene where he shoots the web out and he pulls the lamp and it breaks. The lamp's right back there in the next scene.
Oh my god.
You know what? You're talking to the guy who had issues with the blast door in Mandalorian.
I realized that.
Just so,
like,
can
you just enjoy a movie for once?
No.
Gosh,
I have to look at those little things. We start editing and doing all that, you see all that stuff. But I mean, thanks. I don't see anything. But here's the other thing. I mean, you're right. Sam Raimi, I remember him saying, I never want to do Venom, never want to do Venom. And then this movie came out, and I was like, I thought he didn't want to do Venom. And then he has to talk it up. Oh, yeah, I wanted to do it. I'm like, I just saw the interview where you did not want to do it. So I give him a slight pass. And that's what I say. I hope, because Marvel seems to give a lot more to the directors, let them do a little bit more with it. Maybe Sam Raimi will be able to say, I can knock this out of the park. I've never seen, has he done any dark movies, though? Because I know they said the Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to be darker, they wanted it.
Sam Raimi cut his teeth on horror movies.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I've never seen his horror movies.
Like the Evil Dead movies? That's Sam Raimi.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I have seen one of his movies.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember him.
Talking about is Sam Raimi. Can he do dark?
So he can do darker. And there's rumors they also may have changed the writer, though, for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think the person that wrote the Loki series.
Yes, he's coming aboard supposedly.
Is gonna do that.
But do you feel that there's any, in your opinion, do you have less confidence in this movie yet, or is it still like, I think this will be good?
I'm starting to get a little bit worried, not because of Sam Raimi,
right?
But only because the movie's supposed to go into production in May, and it's supposed to come out next May.
Yeah. So
that's a year's time frame.
To record, edit, do everything.
Right. Usually pre-production is anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
Right.
So we're in that period now.
Right.
Right. We're at the 3-month mark of pre-production. So they really do need to start on pre-production now. If they don't have the script locked, if they're rewriting it,
right, that's
going to push that back. So now you're going to have a rushed product to get the script. So I'm sure they have the main story beats already highlighted and figured out. But I'm a little bit worried that that's going to push back shooting, which is going to push back VFX effects. And for a movie like Doctor Strange,
you need those visual effects. You need them.
So that's the part that has me a little bit worried. And I wonder if that release date gets pushed. I don't think it will, because Marvel, I think, is going to jam it in there. They're going to hit that release date. But I'm definitely a little worried about that. I think Sam Raimi's a good director.
Right.
I don't know that writer from anything else. Obviously, we haven't seen Loki yet, so I don't know how that might play out. But I do have faith and trust in Marvel. I mean, they've put out over 20 movies, and I would say of those 20 movies, there's like 5 that I think are okay.
Yeah. And
everything else is good or great.
Yeah.
And I truly don't think they've put out a bad movie yet. There are movies with bad moments in them. Iron Man 2 is not the best.
Excuse me.
And if you look back at the production schedule of that movie, that one was rushed.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
This is a movie that there's a lot to play with. If you're talking multiverse, I mean, what if we go back to the Spider-Man? The Sam Raimi Spider-Mans.
Don't do it.
Like, what if we do? What if we spend a few minutes, like, now J. Jonah Jameson is in both? What if we get a J. Jonah Jameson scene where he's the Sam Raimi version?
I could live with that. I like doing that. I could live with that. Hang on, wait.
What if they show up for the scene in Spider-Man 2 where they're talking about Doc Ock and they drop Doctor Strange's name and he's like, what is this? And then they like pop out again. Like, would that not be awesome?
I can live with that.
Right?
Doctor Strange. It's taken. And you just see Doctor Strange standing in the background.
It's like,
oh yeah, it is taken.
I mean, what if maybe he's going to run into a few other Doctor Strangers? They will never do this. But what would be really cool.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix was originally rumored and in talks to play Doctor Strange for Marvel, and he didn't want to sign a multi-picture deal. So that's ultimately they ended up with Benedict Cumberbatch. So they will never do this, but how amazing would it be if they went to a different multiverse where Joaquin Phoenix was playing Doctor Strange?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
How amazing would that be? They definitely won't.
Oh my gosh, that'd
but
be
that
funny.
would be so good.
If it's a movie, they're doing a movie rendition of it, and he's the actor playing it,
That
and
would
he is
be
just
so
he is
good.
Joaquin Phoenix. He's just him.
I would be so
And
on
it's just
board
like,
for that.
really, you're playing me, and they just like look at each other. That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
that'd be fun. This movie has some opportunity for meta commentary like that.
It really does.
I don't know, because I could see that being comedic.
Right,
so
and that's what you would
I
want
don't know
somewhat.
how comedic they're looking to be, how
How much-
horror specific
yeah.
they're looking to be. So I'm getting a little bit worried, but I'm also still very excited for the possibilities that this movie has.
Exactly, and I'm kind of right there with you, so I can understand that, because right now you're hitting that crunch time, and you have WandaVision is coming out after Doctor Strange, I believe, right? And is Falcon Winter Soldier coming out?
No, those are all before.
Are they all before?
So
Okay.
Falcon Winter Soldier and WandaVision are both this year.
Oh, that's right. They're this
and
year.
then Loki's early next year. Those are the Disney Plus things that are coming, that hit before Doctor Strange. And the movies that we get before Doctor Strange are Black Widow, Eternals, and I believe Shang-Chi.
Are those even being... Wait, they came out before Doctor Strange?
Yeah, because Doctor Strange is until May of next year. We get Black Widow in May of this year. We get Eternals in November, and I think Shang-Chi is February of next year.
Let me check Shang-Chi, because
I
don't remember.
Mistaken. We definitely get a February movie.
See, and that's what I'm wondering, because like you can't, if you already have everything, it's scheduled for 2021. So yeah, maybe.
So that's next year.
So I mean, you also can't move too far, because if they want to have their schedule still going, I mean, I also don't know how much everything's going to play into it. Is WandaVision going to play into it too, because of her reality bending powers?
Supposedly, WandaVision and Loki are both going to tie into.
See, that's where you got to be careful. So we'll see.
Doctor Strange. So
we'll see where it goes from there and how it's going to play out, I think. And then I know you said that there was some more Spider-Man news, though.
So Sony has announced a spin-off movie in the vein of a Morbius or a Venom, that it's going to be Kraven the Hunter. And so they are supposedly working on casting that movie now. So we don't really have any sort of release date, or nobody's cast yet. But I think that we could possibly see that character show up in Spider-Man 3, which is set to come out in July of next year. And so, possibly that character could show up there and then get his own spin-off movie.
Yeah.
Or they might, because technically we haven't had any official tie-ins yet.
Right.
Morbius, I think we're expecting one.
We're hoping.
But Venom didn't officially tie in.
Nope.
So we'll see. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe they won't. But definitely, I would be on board for Kraven the Hunter. I think
I would be too.
Especially now that, spoiler alert for Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man's identity has been revealed to the world. We think that could still be a Mysterio illusion.
Who knows?
Maybe only Spider-Man thinks his identity was revealed. Who knows?
That'd be cool. But anyway,
it'd be interesting. There's a lot of different ways they can go with that. But the working theory is that everyone in the world now knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So now, is that a good way to introduce Kraven the Hunter and possibly go down the road of Aunt May bites the dust?
And see, so that's where you could tie in Venom, because Spider-Man, May has almost died before, and he essentially puts on a black suit, which is supposed to represent the Venom suit, which is supposed to represent a darker, more vicious Peter Parker, a more vicious Spider-Man that doesn't mind killing at that point.
Correct. And he also likes to dance.
He does. He does dance. Not very well to me, but he does dance. Probably better than me.
Spider-Man 3?
Oh, gosh,
back
no.
to it.
No, I know. And that's why I was trying to avoid it. But see, and this is the good thing. If you lead in with Morbius, we know Morbius has already been made. We've seen the trailer. We've seen that.
Yeah, that's coming out in just a few months. Like July, I think.
July. So then if let's say we get Kraven, either before, around, at the same time as the Spider-Man movie, that gives us two. We still have Vulture alive. Scorpion has been shown in the Spider-Man universe.
Correct.
Shocker is alive. So that just leaves one more for the Sinister Six, which is supposed to be Spider-Man's greatest foes attacking him. And Sony has for years been wanting to make a Sinister Six movie. So this could be what they're trying to do. They're trying to tie in everybody together. And now, like you said, his name is out there.
Well, and I mean, you've got Mysterio, who may or may not still be alive.
That's true too. He is the Master of Illusions.
We'll see who the final villain in the next Spider-Man movie is. I think I'm starting to give up hope that they're going to bring Norman Osborn into the MCU, and I really would.
He would fit in perfectly.
I love Norman Osborn,
but you have to get what's his name from the first one.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
He has to come back. He's so good.
He was
he's
perfect
so
Norman.
He's
Osborn.
he's one of my favorite all time superhero villains.
Yeah.
Like not just DC or Marvel. Like it's just Willem Dafoe. I think he's fantastic as Norman Osborn.
Knocked it out of the park.
His costume's terrible.
Oh yeah, the original costume though looked good. They have scenes of that, and I really think he could knock it out. But yeah, we're just missing the sixth villain, and they may wait for the Spider-Man movie to come out. Let's say Mysterio isn't alive, or if he is, it could also lead into a Kingpin kind of thing, and we could tie in Daredevil essentially into the MCU because Kingpin may be like, hey, he's been following my plans all this time. 6 people go get him, like you 6 go fight for me, and that is an incarnation of him. Yeah. Where Kingpin basically funds the Sinister Six.
That'd be cool too.
And they go after Spider-Man. So Sony has the ability to knock this out of the park and get maybe $1 billion movie for Spider-Man finally. Who knows?
Well, the last one hit $1 billion.
Did it?
Spider-Man Far From Home hit $1 billion.
I couldn't remember if it did.
Yep.
So I mean,
I think the next one probably will too. Although, we'll see. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely interested to see how like Black Widow and the Eternals and Shang-Chi. You've got 3 in a row that I think will all do pretty well. It's still Marvel. I think they might be.
You want to hope they do well.
They might be bomb-proof. On the other hand, Avengers Endgame kind of that's ended the saga. Mm-hmm. Are people gonna want to go see these movies knowing there's no more Iron Man, there's no more Captain America,
no more Black Widow technically after this?
Right. Well, I mean
technically. Depending how far this spans.
We have no idea how they'll show.
Yeah.
I am getting excited for that movie, by the way, which is just in a few months.
Yes, I'm excited too.
That's looking really good.
Are we waiting on the other thing for that? Are we waiting to tell people about the other thing?
What's the other thing?
The Marvel thing?
Marvel
the movies?
What
the
Marvel
videos?
With the movies?
God dang it! Try not to say
Marvel things with the movies? Oh, yeah. Yes. We are here at Get Your Geek On. We're doing a Marvel Cinematic Universe retrospective where we're talking about the Infinity Saga. So we're going to break down all 23 movies. We're going to talk about each one. Each one's going to have its own video. The first one's dropping actually this Thursday.
Yes, I need to do a couple more things to it.
Just a couple days. We're going to have an Iron Man retrospective review. We went back. Aaron and I have been rewatching all of the Marvel movies, and we're going to be talking about them and letting you know if you've never watched anything in the MCU, which if you're watching this, I find that highly unlikely. But if you never have, we'll let you know which ones to watch, which ones you can skip. And maybe if you haven't seen one of these movies in a long time, maybe you can refresh and join in the discussion. Let us know what you think. So be on the lookout for those videos.
About 6 o'clock, probably 6 or 7 at the latest.
Yeah. So we'll drop that out Thursday, and then we'll be having 1 to 2 movies reviews every week leading up to the release of Black Widow.
Which I hope we all enjoy that one.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I think it's going to look really good.
I hope so. So moving on to our next bit of geeky news. I know we're cutting it kind of close, but Indiana Jones, I guess, is alive.
Yeah, they're making another Indiana Jones movie.
Oh my god!
They've announced this for a while. It's actually
with aliens.
No, that was number 4, and it's bad, and we pretend like it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm good. I'm back on board.
But they haven't said. I don't think there's a specific release date on it yet, but they have confirmed that Harrison Ford is back, and they said it's not a reboot; it's a continuation.
Does that mean Shia LaBeouf has to come back?
I don't believe so.
Oh, thank gosh.
So
I don't want Shia LaBeouf back.
I don't think that they will bring him back. I would like them to bring Short Round back.
Yes,
I would be on board for that.
That I would be okay with.
So we'll see. I mean, that was just a quick thing that came out this week. Is that it's not a reboot. They're still working on locking down the script or whatever it looks like. Harrison Ford is back, but it is going to be a continuation.
Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah, she's the head of Lucasfilm.
Oh, okay. Is she really? I didn't know that. See, I learned something. I learned a lot today, guys. I mean, I don't know any of this, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, nothing, like you said, nothing's set in stone. They're just still talking.
Yep.
So I'm sure once they get enough zeros on that check, Harrison Ford's like, "Yep, I'm back on. Get my little cane and get back up there," and he'll crawl out of there and be happy. Yeah. But the last bit of news that we saw, that is what you just showed me.
Yeah, the last thing
I was excited for. I'm
So,
excited for this, guys.
If you guys loved the first two G.I. Joe movies,
I liked the first one a little bit.
Be on the lookout because Snake Eyes is getting his own spin-off movie. It's filming now. It's coming out in October. And Snake Eyes is going to be played by Henry Golding, who, if you saw Crazy Rich Asians, plays the main love interest in that movie.
Aww, it's a love interest movie.
Whatever. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, you should. It's definitely good. But he posted on Instagram kind of a first look at the character of Snake Eyes. We just see him from the back, and he's like walking into what looks like a temple, and he's got looks like a sword hanging off his hip. But I liked G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I liked it growing up. I didn't like either of the movies that came out, but you give me a Snake Eyes movie. He was always one of the coolest characters.
Oh yeah, everybody loves Snake Eyes.
And you give me like a ninja movie.
Yeah.
And I'll go see it. That sounds good to me.
I mean, I don't, like you said, the live action ones I didn't like, but there was one. I don't know if you saw it. There was an animated film, G.I. Joe film, like more of like an actual anime style.
Just making it up.
I'm not making it up. And it actually was more about Snake Eyes and what's the other guy's name? The evil one version of him.
Of Snake
Cobra.
Eyes?
On Cobra's side, the guy who wears the all white ninja outfit.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name.
Storm Shadow?
Yeah, Storm Shadow. So it's basically essentially them two going at it, and it does touch on Snake Eyes' origins. Actually, it was like one of those films that just came out of nowhere. It's like if you watch anime and you happen to hear about it, you're like, oh yeah, let me go check it out. And I wonder if that's where this is going to go, especially with the picture right there they're showing. So it's like you said, it's his back. And it looks like he's almost walking towards a temple or something.
Yeah.
So it makes me get that.
And it looks like there's someone up there as well. Like it looks like there's a couple of ninjas at the top of like these steps.
Yeah.
And so maybe it looks like some sort of training, shot or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm curious on it. I'm trying to think of what the name of the movie was. Was it Resolute? No. I'll look for it and I'll throw it up there one day, guys. But yeah, it was like a very much anime looking style, and it basically followed everybody. But I remember the main thing was Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, because it was, I guess they were trained by the same master, and he's like, oh, you're beneath me because you're just like this, orphan kid, and I was like supposed to always be it. And then finally Storm Shadow realizes that Snake Eyes is better because he actually learned all of the moves that their master taught them, and even the like secret technique that he wasn't supposed to know, kind of thing. And that's how he ends up killing Storm Shadow finally at the end, because he uses it on him. He's like, "Oh, you know it, oh, dead," and he dies.
There you go.
So bad cheesy like movie too. It felt like a old like 80s fighting movie kind of thing. But I don't know, it was cool.
Yeah.
I remember. I just can't remember the name of it. That's how old I am. Wow. But it'd be fun to see it. I wonder if it's gonna do like. Thanks. You're older than me.
Lies.
So
check the math on that one.
I don't even know. I honestly don't know. I just said that. I mean, do you think it would even be worth making this one, since the other G.I. Joe movies didn't do well? I thought.
I mean, I think. The first one did well, because you don't make a second one if the first one doesn't do well.
That's true.
I'm interested in it because it's Snake Eyes. If they said we're making G.I. Joe 3, I'm out.
Yeah.
But Snake Eyes, sure. I didn't see either of the first two G.I. Joe movies in theater. I
saw the first one.
I remember I saw the first one and I was like, no, I don't need to see the second one. I eventually did see it because a friend of mine was like, oh, it's not that bad. And I was like, yes.
You watch it.
I don't trust that person's movie anymore. But yeah.
Are you still friends with this person?
No. Friends, yes. I just don't trust their movie. But when it comes down to a specific character, yeah. I mean, I'm not committing to seeing it in theater yet. I'm interested.
Yeah.
And so I want to see some previews. Maybe we'll get something, probably summer for an October release. We'll get some previews starting maybe May, June time frame.
Yep.
And so at that point, if it looks interesting, I'll definitely be on board.
Nice. I mean, I'll check it out. I love Snake Eyes, even from the cartoons and everything. It's always been Snake Eyes to me. So on that note, guys, we are gonna end it. So I hope you all enjoyed everything we talked about here on Talking Geek. Like I said, the geeky show in the verse, guys. You know, Bird of Prey news, Oscar news, Doctor Strange, Craven the Hunter, Indiana Jones, maybe. Some Snake Eyes teasing here. So if y'all have missed anything, remember the show does go back up on YouTube and Facebook as the recorded videos. And our podcast is actually available now on all major platforms.
Woo-hoo!
On iHeartRadio, TuneIn, iTunes or Apple Store, whatever it's called now, Google Play, Stitcher.
Yeah.
Every major one is out there, guys. We are on it. So if you don't want to watch our video and don't want to see our pretty faces, then yeah, you definitely can listen to us on that podcast, and it works perfectly right there.
And check out coming this Thursday our
about 6 o'clock
Marvel retrospective review of Iron Man, and we're gonna be putting out those movies. So actually, you're gonna get before the next Talking Geek, you're gonna get Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk because that's gonna drop on Monday.
Both of them.
Iron Man on Thursday, the Incredible Hulk on Monday. We'll be back next week on Talkin Geek on Tuesday night.
Yes.
And I think that's it for me.
That's it. So, and guys, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think of what we do here. If you have any suggestions or comments, let us know. And on that note, guys, stay geeky. And remember, what makes you geek, guys?